Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we got a video here where this lady is basically trying to explain why it's partially part of the video. She goes into other things as well, right? But she's basically saying how that it was white women who were like housewives and this and that. Like the housewife, especially the black housewife, is a myth, and it is. And we're actually going to talk about it. I'm going to let her speak her piece, but then we're actually going to talk about it.
To be housewives, period. It is what it is. It's not me with my opinion. It's a fact. Hence why the feminist movement even started. White women were losing their husbands left and right to the war. They had to go out and make money for their families. They could not make money for their families because nobody was hiring white women, because white women did not have any skills. They didn't even have housekeeping skills because they all had, well, vast majority of them had nannies who were black. All of these little programs were made for y'all. The first people who was told to have kids so the government could take care of you were white women, not black women. Y'all really got to sit up here and be mad at white men because they the ones out here with the keys to success on how to brainwash the masses. You heard me. They got the keys to success on how to brainwash the masses. They really sat back and found a way to make all of y'all think that all of this stuff was made to benefit black people. And it wasn't. It was literally for white women. Same thing with like, here's one of my biggest examples of white men brainwashing the whole entire world. Diamonds. Diamonds are worthless, okay? I said what the fuck I said. Diamonds are worthless. Gemstones will forever be 3 to 100 times more expensive than a diamond. Here's the next thing. And it's somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but from my knowledge, a diamond is the only stone that can be recreated in a lab. And not only can it just be recreated in the lab, it can be recreated to the point where it seems and looks so real that nothing is going to register it as it being fake. You cannot do that with gemstone. But the white man made everybody believe that diamonds were top tier. It took over the whole entire world. They got the keys to brainwashing y'all. Like, I don't know how the white men figured it out, but baby, they got the keys to it. Here's another. White men went over into Africa and told Africa, hey, if y'all want to come to the United States, we'll help y'all get to the United States. But guess what? When you get to the United States, you're going to run into black Americans and they ain't shit. They worthless, they lazy, they uneducated, they ghetto, they violent. Don't interact with them. You don't want to be a part of their community. You don't want to be a part of their culture. Just stay the fuck away. And to this day, there are Africans who come over to America and think that black people are the scum of the fucking earth because of what white people told them. See, here's the next thing about that lie. The lie was told so deep to Africans that the white men made Africans think that they wasn't going to come over here and get treated like black people. But guess what? They were born and raised.
Now, she went into subject matter that I'm not going to cover in this video. What I wanted to cover in this video was the first part of what she was talking about, not the latter part of what she was talking about. I want to focus on the whole feminism was made for white women. The whole welfare queen situation was made for white women, and black women didn't have anything to do with it. Black housewife has always been a myth. When she said they were born and raised to be housewives, she was talking about white women. And that's pretty much true. Like during like 30s, 40s, 50s, all of those years, black women have always worked since the field. I don't know where these chicks nowadays get this whole, I want to sit up somewhere and the man got to pay everything and I don't want to work. I don't know where they got that from, but Black women here in America, historically, as a collective, we have not had that experience at all. And our marriages and family units were just fine. Many of our grandmothers, great grandmothers, women, our ancestors, those women worked. If it wasn't in the field and it was after chattel slavery, a lot of our women were housekeepers, nannies, you seamstresses, women. These women were working. It's always been a dual income. We've never, until second wave feminism, Black women never required Black men to uphold all of the expenses for the family and the home by himself. Even whatever she could make to contribute to the household and to the finances, she did that. She did that. She always did that. Okay? We have not collectively as a people been wealthy enough in this country to allow the men to only be the ones to bring in any finances, and we don't bring in any, and then we get to have children, and he does all of the work. Black women have usually worked, even in the rare instances that she didn't have to. Usually Black women find something to do, some kind of income. She contributes some kind of way to the household in whatever percentage that she does it. So that is a myth. The white women in America have had the privilege mostly of not working, or their husbands being in a position to be the sole breadwinner in their families. And that's not to say that there were no poor white families where she had to work, but on the whole, what collective skills did white women have? What were they doing? Because it was us that had all of the skill sets. We knew how to make things. We knew how to do things. We knew how to rear children. We knew all of that stuff. Our foremothers knew how to do that stuff. We knew how to treat you when you were sick, and what kind of tea you needed to drink, or what kind of herb you needed to take, or what kind of food you needed to stay away from as long as you had a fever, or we knew that stuff. That was us. We've always been a contributing to our households financially. We've been doing work. We've always done that. So all of this soft girl era stuff, foolishness. It's foolishness, and it's a myth, and it's a lie. Because when have we ever? It was only after the advent of welfare and things of that nature that things took a turn. And it wasn't even that we required the men to do everything. It's Black women following up behind white women started getting on Section 8s and welfare and all of that type of stuff as well. The only thing that the rules were enforced differently for Black families rather than white families. White families could get on it as a unit and the man be the head of the household and they still get the benefits. For Black people, those rules were enforced very differently. I lived through the man can't be in the house or else you're not going to get your benefits. I lived through that. And most of the people in my generation that I know that we was in the hood, we lived through that. We saw that happen. That was not a myth or a lie. That was pretty much a universal experience. Social worker coming to the house, your daddy stuff can't be there, all that kind of stuff. Only then were Black women in a position to not work, but still have the most basic of their needs met for the most part. And only after that, now Black women require Black men to do what the government does. So it's the government that he's competing with in her mind, not previous generations of Black families. So it's not predicated on what we have done. And what really has been largely successful for us in this country It wasn't the working or the not working that made our families work or not. It was the women understanding what it took to be in support of and in the help of their families, and the men understanding that as well. And everybody played their position to the best of their ability. That's why a lot of chicks is talking about, oh, a man gotta pay for this and pay for that and da 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 da, because in her mind, he gotta do what the government do. That's the standard in her head. If anything, feminism and this welfare stuff made Black women lazy. It made a lot of Black women lazy. They feel like they don't have to do it. As long as they have a man, they shouldn't have to lift a finger. And that's foolishness. Because even if you are in position where your man makes enough money where you don't actually have to work, you need to be able to have a skill that if things go left, you can start contributing. All that princess treatment, foolishness. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.